Hey, if last week you didn't stick to your meal plan, maybe you are on some sort of nutrition program trying to lose weight, you started some new diet, and if last week you really struggled to stick to your protocol, maybe you overate, or because you struggle with binge eating, you noticed that last week you were hungrier at certain times and so you overate. Or maybe come the afternoon, you're super low energy and you just have to eat something, so you did. Or like a lot of my clients that I work with, or gals that have reached out to me that have said, I struggle with binge eating. What ends up happening is I have these late night cravings that I give into. I have this sweet tooth after dinner. I just have to have something sweet. And my diet plan, it's too restrictive. I'm hungry, I kind of feel deprived. I'm thinking about all of the foods. And so we tend to overeat, we binge eat, right? And so if this was you last week, then this video is for you. Hello, everyone. I see a couple people have joined. If you struggled with this last week, then keep watching because I want to share a specific tool that you can use this week so that these next 7 days feel more successful for you than the previous week. For those of you who don't know me, I should introduce myself. I'm Leah. Hi. I'm a women's weight loss coach. I'm the creator of Break Up with Binging, which is this incredible online course that I offer my weight loss coaching clients. And inside this Break Up with Binging course, I teach women how to solve their physical hunger. I teach gals how to stop emotionally eating. And I also teach women how to regain control around food, because once you solve those aspects and you completely heal your relationship with food, you inevitably heal your relationship with yourself. And that's when you can really stick to a diet, a workout plan, and actually see your weight loss goal all the way through, because you've solved the emotional hunger component that's been holding you back. So that's what I do in a nutshell, and I would love to connect with any of you that have any questions. Pick my brain. I'm an open book if you want to send me a message. If there's a tool or a tip or a strategy that I can give you for free, I am here to serve, and that's why I'm doing this live. If you struggled last week with binge eating, you kind of noticed that out of the 7 days, you binged 4 of those days, 3 of those days, 5 every single day, then use this tip that I actually shared inside my Break Up with Binging Facebook group. It's a free group. I'm going to link it in the comments below so that you can join. And what I did this morning was I shared a worksheet. It's an awareness worksheet that I have my clients fill out to kind of become aware of what actually happened last week so we can do some self-reflection. And we don't look at last week and our binges and our overeating as a means to be mean and cruel to ourselves, to point out we have a problem, but there's a lot of power in being aware of where we stand. What did go on for us last week that we turned to food as a comfort? How many times did we overeat? When did we overeat? What was our environment? What was going on for us? How were we feeling? And it's powerful to do the self-reflection so we can kind of see what a typical week looks like for us, what our struggles are, so that we can strategize the solutions and have a better upcoming week. So it's actually the perfect act of love for us to do this awareness activity. And so I want you to join my Break Up with Binging group. There's so many tools that I'm sharing in there for free to help you gals, and I'll link that below. What I want you to do this week is to take a moment to pause and think about last week, and of the 7 days, how many times did you binge eat? For some of us, we can binge 5 times in a day, right? We have one meal off of our plan, and because we ate off of the protocol, we feel terrible, and we tell ourselves that we messed up, and then because we messed up, we're like, fuck it, I'll just eat whatever. And then we catch up. Like if we have been dieting and eating low calorie and super clean and cutting out all of the junk, and then we have this bad day on Wednesday, it's almost like we use that now as an opportunity to just eat all of the things, and we kind of take the rest of the week off. And if we look back, it's like we binged 20 times, 25 times, right? Because one binge leads to another. We start with the Oreos, and then after the Oreos, we're hitting the chips, and then we're into the ice cream, and it's just back to back to back. And we can sometimes binge 5 or 6 times in one day, right? And so take a moment now to look back on last week and see how many binges, how many times did you overeat last week, and take note of that. And then what I want you to do, which is a concept that I'm not sure you've ever considered before, because I think what a lot of us try and do is say, okay, I binged last week, so my goal is not to binge at all this week, or never to binge again. For the next 30 days, for the rest of my life, I'm never allowed to binge ever again. It's bad, I'm disordered, something is wrong with me. That extreme from going to eating the whole house, which I know firsthand, to then trying to cut out all of the foods, punishing myself by not eating and eating low calorie and saying I'm never gonna binge again. It's two polar opposites. It's like a pendulum swing. It's going from one side to the other. And sometimes we feel like we're stuck in this because we'll go days restricting, depriving, and we're like, okay, I'm not binging. And then we do it once and it's just this huge catastrophic where now we're binging for the next week and unable to kind of break out of that. So I want you to consider doing something different. And that is, instead of saying to yourself, I'm not going to binge at all, and you're white knuckling it and you're going to use willpower, and I'm not overeating once this week. I want you to look at last week and how many times you overate or you binged. And then this week, your goal is to reduce that number by 2, right? Let's take baby steps here. Let's learn to walk before we run, because the running isn't working. It's almost like we think in a perfect world, we would go from struggling with overeating and binging to never binging and overeating, as if that's the goal. The goal actually needs to be this progression of binging less and less. And I want you to think about this concept. If you binged last week 10 times is what you take note of, and you made it a point this week to binge 2 times less, so you're going to allow yourself, you're going to give yourself this permission to kind of go through this journey, grow through this journey, and binge 8 times instead of 10. It's a win that you've now binged twice less, because why? If you did that every single week, give it a couple of weeks and you may be binge free, right? If you're gradually reducing the amount of binges that you have week over week, that then means that you are every week practicing a skill of resisting or allowing an urge, that desire to eat. And you're saying no to yourself. You're setting that boundary out of love. And you're learning how to do that so that week over week, it gets less and less and less. And that's the strategy that I want you to try and implement this week, is saying to myself, I'm going to binge less by 2. That's my commitment. What was last week? And then I'm giving myself permission this week, which may sound absurd. Leah, I'm going to give myself permission to overeat, to binge. Yes, because what's the opposite? The opposite of us being so hard on ourselves and judging ourselves is not working. When you are feeling, when you are telling yourself, I failed, I fucked up, I'm a mess, I can't do this, how do you feel? You feel so defeated. You feel so defeated, you feel so disempowered. What actions do you take from that state of being? No positive ones. Restricting foods isn't positive. Depriving yourself of foods isn't positive. When you're feeling defeated, you then binge even more. So I'm saying, instead of scolding yourself and saying it's not okay to be binging, I want you to kind of open up to the idea that every single one of your binges is an opportunity for you to learn about yourself. It's an opportunity for you to turn inward. What's going on for me in my life? How am I feeling? What am I running from? What am I buffering from, right? What feeling am I trying to escape that I think food is the answer? Why am I always turning to food as a comfort? And then kind of getting to know yourself and what you're doing, and then making a pact with yourself that this week you're going to reduce that number. And what a feat this is going to be, that if you look at 6 weeks from now, if you've gone from 20 binges, right, and now we're down to 8, that is amazing. Your overall consumption is going to be less. You're going to be feeling much more better. You're going to be feeling more confident in your ability to regain self-control and tap into that willpower. And so I think it's just a phenomenal exercise that I want you to try and take advantage of. If nothing else hasn't worked, you have to be willing to try something new in order to see if this will work. So if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, please comment them. I am here to help. Join our Breakup with Binging group. It's an amazing space. It's a safe space. It's a judgment-free zone. And we try to have some fun in there. It's not like any of the other binge eating groups where you kind of feel negative and dark and it's super heavy. My philosophy in our group is that we are all incredibly badass women. We are thriving in our careers, in our relationships. Like, we know what's up. We just struggle with this one area area, which is food. We struggle with, having that self-control and our cravings, and the byproduct of that is that we're overweight or we're feeling uncomfortable in our skin. And Leah, I'm good at everything else. Like, teach me how to be good here, and you got it. So that's my goal inside the group, is to serve you. I'm going to link it below, and I look forward to getting to know you and connecting with you inside. Okay, happy Monday. Cheers. Bye.